everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Nerf Fortnite HR. This blaster is based on the hunting rifle in Fortnite. Its color scheme is also based on something in Fortnite, the Rough Wrap, which I think is based on this dog character here, this pug guy in a hoodie. This blaster is a little bit different than some of the other blasters I've had on this channel because it is a rotating bolt action blaster. A couple of blasters I've already reviewed on this channel are bolt action blasters, but they are just, you pull straight back. Like the Eagle Point, bolt action sniper rifle, and the heavy sniper rifle all have a straight pull to prime it. But this one has a rotating bolt, so you have to grab that bolt handle, rotate it up, and then you can pull back, and you bring it down when you push it forward. So it's a little bit interesting, a little bit different. I don't think Hasbro or Nerf has made a blaster like this before. I think Buzzbee and Dart Zone I think has for the Adventure Force line, but I've never seen Nerf do something like this. So with that all the way, let's get started by talking about the box. Alright, so here we have the front of the box. Not a lot of information on here other than it includes 6 elite darts, so that means it's a Nerf Elite blaster, so they'll shoot probably the Adventure Force and the Dart Zone ones. They're usually pretty good at making them compatible. The other information we have is it talks about some assembly required. I'm not too sure what that means. Maybe the bolt comes out. Maybe it's talking about something else. We'll talk about it a little bit later when we're talking about the box. It's 8+. There's plastic-free packaging. And I keep mentioning that. Onto the back of the box, we have same information, 6 elite darts, and from back here we can learn that it's a magazine fed blaster, as it's a 6 dart clip. It also shows us the rotating bolt a little bit more in detail, so you have to lift it up to pull it back. And it's a detachable barrel, which I'm guessing that's the reason why it says some assembly required. Not too sure. This blaster also came out in 2022, so this year. So with that all out of the way, let's get it out of the box and see what's inside. Alright, so here's our hunting rifle out of the box. We have the bolt here, which we have to attach to it. It's going to be a single one and done thing. We have our instructions. Tells you a little bit more about the blaster. Tells you about the jam door on it, how to use it, how to assemble it. It's pretty standard instructions. We have our barrel. This thing is actually kind of heavy. It's also very glossy. Seems to be the theme with a lot of blasters nowadays. It's so glossy. Then we have our magazine. It's a standard 6-round magazine with I think an extended base. Probably just an extra bit of plastic on the bottom. We have our darts here. These are going to be, I think, white and orange. Yep, white and orange. These are very similar to the ones that come with, what are they called? I think they're called the Modulus. Yeah, the Modulus darts. Yeah. Very similar to the Modulus darts. Probably are like the Modulus darts. Alright, so let's get to the assembly of this blaster. Alright, to assemble it, it seems like we keep the hollow side towards the bottom. And you just click it in like that. The barrel goes on like so. And here we go to prime it. Lift up. Wait. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. This thing was primed while in shipment, while on the store shelf. If I haven't mentioned this before, when storing your blasters, you don't want your springs to be compressed at all. Because if you compress them, they get weaker over time. So I'm not sure how this review is going to go with that spring, but I guess it should hopefully not be detrimental to this blaster. But while we have it open, we can show off the jam door, which is kind of a pain to get open. You have to have fingernails. I have a screwdriver here. Use that to open up the jam door because pretty tight. Ah, there we go. There's our jam door. It appears that the jam door won't lock with the bolt forward, so let's see if that's true. Close it down. Like that. Can we open it? Oh, this jam door's annoying. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you don't have to have it pulled back open the jam door, so we can see how the lock works a little bit. There's this interesting little thing here. Can't actually pry it back unless we push down our reset button, which is a trusty red one. Yeah, should allow us to move the bolt back. Okay, just fire it. Seems to be a pretty standard blaster. Mag release isn't terrible. It's pretty good. Stock's not terrible either. We'll say that. And of course we have our sight picture, which I'm just gonna take the barrel off just to show it off. There's our blaster without the barrel. And it should work with all standard barrels. So here we have the Eagle Point barrel. It fits alright. It's a little loose. It fits alright. Speaking of being compatible, it should be compatible with all standard Nerf magazines. Anyway, it should be compatible with all magazines. So, yeah, spare magazines. Better than that Saber Wing, which isn't compatible with any magazine. So, now here's a weird thing about this blaster. I don't recommend you doing something like this. When the bolt's forward, you shouldn't normally do this because they don't allow you to, but on this one for some reason they allow you to remove the magazine with enough force and pushing that in. This thing for some reason isn't locked, so you can just take the magazine out and put it back in. So it's a little weird that they did something like that. So yeah, let's get this magazine loaded up. Get ready for the test. So we have our Nerf Elite Darts here. And speaking of the tests, as with I guess pretty much every blaster I have with a removable barrel, we will be testing it with the barrel and without the barrel. Full magazine, so we got 6 shots with barrel, 6 shots without. I'll have to see if it's better with it or without it. We'll have to see. So let's get the darts in here and get to testing. Alright, so on to the accuracy test. Right, so here we are at the range test. We're going to be starting out with our Nerf Elite Darts with the barrel on. So, ooh, I actually got it. Move it down. Hit the table. That went down. And I went straight. Do we have any more? That's everything. Alright, now let's try it with without the barrel. Alright, so here we have our Nerf Elite Darts and our hunting rifle without the barrel. It's going to be a little interesting to aim with this because there's no sights. I gotta set the targets. Be right back. Alright, now the targets are set up. It's without the barrel. Going for the one on the left. It's a little low. A little high. Oh, got an egg. That's not what I was aiming for. That went down. And off to the left a little bit. Went to the left. And we're out. Alright. Nerf darts, the Elite Darts aren't too accurate. Let's move on to Adventure Force. Alright. We have our Adventure Force darts. And with the barrel on the hunting rifle. Let's see how it fares with these. A little straighter. A little low. We have a jam. A little down. Oh, hit the target. Alright, so let's go on the one on the right. Get an egg. Everything? Yeah, it's everything. Alright, a little bit better. Anyway, so let's move on to the next part of this test and do Adventure Force without the barrel. Alright, so we have our Adventure Force darts and our hunting rifle without the barrel. And I forgot to set the targets up as usual, so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Alright, see if we can hit anything. Oh, a little bit better. A little high. Got it. We're gonna go for the bottle. Okay. Trying to go for the can. Got an egg. Is that it? That's everything. Alright, surprisingly more accurate without the barrel. I mean, it's understandable. So let's move on to the dart zone darts and see if those are any better than these. Alright, so we have our dart zone sure shot darts and hunting rifle with its barrel. See if these do any better than the previous two darts. Okay, probably the straightest shooting it's been with the barrel compared to the other two. A little bit low. I'm gonna go in for the bottle actually. Go higher. I think that's it, right? In a way, it's a little bit better than the previous. I just noticed something about this blaster. We'll show it later. It seems to be a little bit more straight shooting than the previous two. Though it goes a little low. So I'll take the barrel off and set the target up and see how it fares without them. Without the barrel. Got our sure shot darts and our hunting rifle without the barrel. After this, I'm going to show off the weird thing I realized about this blaster. They don't mention on the box. Probably mentioned in the instructions, but we'll see. A little better. It's hard to aim with this thing without sights. Go for the bottle, actually. Hit the can. Go high. Hit the egg. Hit the can. And we're out. Alright, so I'm going to load this thing up with more sure shot darts and show you what I found. Alright, so we have more sure shot darts. And we're doing without the barrel. But I'm going to hold down the trigger. Get a better angle. I'm going to hold down the trigger. I'm going to push the bolt forward. There's slam fire, ladies and gentlemen. In the final thought section, I will confirm in the instructions if they're supposed to be slam fire. If not, that's a little odd. We'll have to see. Alright, so on to the range and speed test. Alright, so here we are at the range and speed test. We're actually going to be doing something a little different. I have here 3 magazines. So we have our Nerf Elite, Adventure Force, and our sure shot darts. These magazines, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to shoot all the darts downrange with the barrel. Then I'm going to collect them all after going down, showing off the range. Show where they landed, measure them out. And then I'm going to clean them all up. And then I'm going to come back without the barrel and fire more. So we're going to do this in kind of a rapid succession. So, a little different. So, here we are. We're going to start off with the Elite darts with the barrel on. Shoot to the chronograph. 52. 58, 42, a little bit weak, 60, not bad, keep seeing the wall, 56, 50, duplicate 56, and that's it. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention, for context, the chicken is 25 feet, the frog marks 40, and that far back wall there marks 50 for where I'm standing. And those darts seem to be landing right around this crack right there. So that's about the 30-foot mark. So we're going to be doing Adventure Force now. See how these fare. That was a miss. Also a miss. 46. 37, not the best. 73. Did not register. And that's it. Seems pretty bad. One of the sure shot darts. 57 and hit the chicken, I think. 46. 61. 39. 57. That's it. Alright, so I'll put the speed averages because I completely forgot some of the numbers. So let's go check out the range data and then we'll come back, test it without the barrel, and see if that is any better. Alright, so here we have some darts that landed here. These were those like 30 foot per second, 30 feet per second kind of darts. We have one dart zone one here, a couple more over here. The crack I was talking about is this part. Where is it? Oh, it's this one right here. They were landing right around this cracked area right here. So some of them, I feel like a lot of the dart zone ones are landing right here, over here. So they're making about, I felt like Nerf was making about 30 something feet. Dart zone seemed to be going the farthest. Adventure Force seemed to be going the shortest, from the general consensus of them. I'll go get the tape measure and we'll measure them out. So usually we measure from the far back wall, but today, because they didn't seem to go that far, and they seem to be bouncing right around this mark here, we're going to measure from the 40 foot mark. It's approximately 40 feet. I think we'll just bring it, load it forward, like so. So the 40 foot mark. They were landing right around here. So that's the 35 foot mark. This thing was landing about 35 feet. Those darts. Some of them were going over here to the 38 foot mark. And I think Adventure Force in particular is landing at the 30 foot mark. So it's a little bit weaker than other blasters I have reviewed on this channel. So, you know, but this of course is with the barrel, so that could do a lot. That could lower the distances and speeds by quite a bit. We'll see what happens without the barrel. So we can clean up all these darts and we'll go back to the chronograph and shoot down range. We're going to start out with the elite darts. Alright. 63 hit the wall. 64 landed in the bushes. Oh, hit the window. 60. 64. Wow, that didn't go that went pretty far, believe it or not. Oh, what's going on with the bolt? Keeps priming for some reason without me actually priming it. So 60 hit the wall. Oh, that went 40 feet. 65. All right. It's redeeming itself, believe it or not. All right, so let's move on to Adventure Force. See if we can redeem the Adventure Force darts. 53 on about maybe the 28 foot mark. 40 foot mark, 63. 61, about 40 feet. 40 foot mark, 70. 49, about 30 foot. 64, a little over 30. That's it. Alright. Move on to dart zone. 80. Oh, hit the chronograph. Hit the top of the chronograph. 42, hit the top of the chronograph. 55, about 30, 25, 30 feet. 59. About 30, 38. 61. Okay, about 40, 60, and that's it. So the blaster performs way better without the barrel, and it seems to have redeemed itself a little bit. We got the tape measure out, and we're going to see where those darts landed. I mean, you've heard over my commentary of where the darts are landing about. Some of them are going about 40 feet, so let's go check. Alright, so here we are with our darts. They seem to be landing right around where the frog is, or up to this line right here. So that would be the 39, 38 foot mark. But some of them are going past the frog, so that's about the 43, 40, 42, 43 mark. Some of them are landing here at the 34 foot mark. So relatively better. Getting more to the 40 foot mark than not. In fact, we can actually see some Venture Force darts in there when previously it was just Nerf. Now I will say, there's a little bit of a trade-off here with the Nerf darts. They're going farther, faster, but they're not going as straight. The barrel is stabilizing them a little bit, but it's taking away a lot of energy, and, you know, the Nerf ones aren't designed too well. I will admit that. But Dart Zone and Venture Force seem to like, you know, they seem to be doing well, way better. Probably due to the fact that their heads are designed in a different way than just, you know, that. Anyway, so with that all the way, put the ranges up here, so about 40 feet for each of them. So with that all the way, let's move on to my final thoughts. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Nerf Fortnite HR? Before we do that, let's go over where I bought it and how much I spent. I purchased this at Walmart for $32.88 USD, which I believe is a little bit of a high price for this type of blaster, especially what you get out of it, get for it. So, you know, not going to say too much about that right now because we'll save it for the pros and cons section. So now with that all the way, let's move on to the pros and cons. Alright, so starting with the cons, let's go over a couple of minor cons. The first minor con is definitely the jam door. This thing's really hard to open. Not a practical jam door, which they made the little hole there for your fingernail a little bigger, or maybe make the lock a little weaker. It's just a little bit too tight. That's kind of a downside of this blaster. Let's talk about the bolt. So the bolt is not horrible to maneuver, but you do have this weird thing. I'm not pushing it forward. It's pushing itself forward. It's weird. Sometimes the locks work, other times the locks don't. It's really weird. I've been having these weird things where the locks just don't want to work, don't want to lock in. It's a little weird. So basically with these bolts, normally there'll be a set of locks, kind of like a ratchet, at certain points. So there's one there, and there's one all the way back to lock it in, right? And also, this is also an issue. If you don't put your bolt all the way down, no matter how hard you pull the trigger, it won't fire until it's all the way down. Yeah. So, has locking issues. So, there's something to keep in mind with that. And then the biggest con about this blaster is this barrel. So let's move on to the barrel, which is probably the biggest con about this blaster. The barrel itself is detrimental to the blaster when it's on and when it's off. When it's off, we'll just quickly talk about that real quick. You don't have sights on the blaster, making it very hard to aim. I've had a hard time aiming with this thing a lot, especially during the accuracy test, and it's pretty bad. Another issue is with specifically Nerf Elite darts, the darts go all over the place. Of course, a couple of Venture Force and Dart Zone ones also went all over the place. They didn't go as straight as if the barrel was on it. So it is what it is. But with the barrel on, I mean, yes, you have the sights back, you have the darts going straight, but your speed and your range sinks significantly. To a significant point where I'm like, you shouldn't even have a barrel on this thing. The blaster itself, without the barrel, is fine. It's a pretty standard blaster. Also, something to mention about the blaster and the cons is there's no rails. I kind of wish there was rails on this thing, but, you know, it's just a design choice of theirs not to put a rail on it. I think it would be cool to put a scope on this thing, but, you know, it would help not having the barrel on if you had a scope or something on top to mount, or just looking down the rail. But they don't have one on here, so that was a little disappointing. So let's move on to pros. So on to the more positive side, let's talk about the pros of this blaster. I overall like the aesthetic of it. It's a pretty cool looking blaster. It feels like a weird mishmash of stuff that somehow works for it. If you told me hunting rifle, I would not think pistol grip. I think the normal stock grip would be what I'd be thinking of, but it kind of works with it. But it's just an odd aesthetic that I kind of like. Of course, my favorite part is the bolt. Of course, when it works, it's a cool feature that I hope Nerf implements more into more of their blasters. Magazine's all right. I like kind of like how it's gray, except on the very front of it, which is orange. I think it's a pretty cool magazine, even though it's a 6-round magazine. The bolt is, while a little finicky, is easy to maneuver. Trigger is pretty nice. Magazine releases the magazine, given how small and light this one is. Drops out without any tension, so you can easily swap magazines out with that. The real question is, would I recommend this blaster? For its $33 price tag, I'd say wait for it to go on sale. For what you're getting out of spending $33, which, by the way, I do understand that it's Fortnite branded, so there is a license, what I like to refer to as license tax on the blaster, because it is Fortnite branded, and it's just, you know, it feels like a little bit of a steep price for it. I'll wait for it to go on sale. Christmas is coming up, so they'll probably go on sale around that time. Overall, I feel like it does have a place in someone's collection due to it being a rotating bolt action blaster with a cool aesthetic. I personally like collecting the Fortnite blasters. They look pretty cool, and they have some pretty cool gimmicks on them, and some cool accessories, cool attachments. Though this barrel stinks. Don't like the barrel. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this blaster. Comment your thoughts down below. What you think about this blaster? Comment down below what else you want to see on this channel. Be sure to check out the heavy sniper rifle video I did a while back. Kind of has a bolt action. It's Nerf Mega. And also make sure to check out my other reviews on the channel. Playlist to that and the heavy sniper rifle video linked at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.